So Claire, with so much focus on fragrance, everyone wants to smell nice, wants the air to smell nice, air fresheners, all these personal care products. What do we need to be concerned about as it relates to toxic load? Or what is that toxic load?
Our toxic load, so basically it's talking about as individuals and how many toxins we're taking on into our bodies. And we can get them from our air, from the things that we're putting on our skin, in our hair, that we're using constantly. So what we're breathing in as well. And all of that, all the toxins that we're taking on into our bodies have to process. They have to break down and try to eliminate. And unfortunately, because our toxic load is so heavy for all of us, the fact that there's toxins within our air, we bring toxins into our home. We actually spend a lot of our hard-earned money on bringing toxins into our own home by air fresheners, by laundry detergents, by our personal hygiene products. So every time that we are bringing the toxins into our homes and into our body has to fight that off. Our body has to try and eliminate them. And we have a detoxifying system. But unfortunately, it works super, super hard to try and get rid of all the toxins. And we just can't eliminate them all. And that's a really tough part about it. So as our bodies are trying to eliminate them, our systems become sluggish. So our lymphatic system gets clogged up with toxins. Our livers get clogged up with toxins. Our fatty tissues end up holding the toxins. And so we are literally carrying around the toxins within our bodies that we can't eliminate.
So what organs get targeted in this? Like what's really carrying the burden of this toxic load?
Well, it's a whole system, right? So we're looking at the lymphatic system, which is our drainage system. So they basically goes through and eliminates or tries to eliminate the toxins that's found all throughout the body. Our liver, our lungs, our skin is a detoxifying organ because every time we sweat, we're able to eliminate the toxins that way as well. And unfortunately, a lot of the toxins that we're taking on actually destroy those very same organs. So a lot of the times we will have toxic products that will destroy the skin or harm the lungs. So or the liver. So basically, the more toxins we're taking on that are actually destroying the very systems that are supposed to eliminate the toxins, that's harder for the body to work as well.
So where are all these toxins coming from, and why do we have them now as opposed to, I guess 20, 30 years ago? What are we doing differently now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a progression over time. We had a lot of time where people were smoking, and that was obviously a big toxin, which still happens now, but we had bars and things like that, or any public place, and people were smoking within them, airplanes and all the sorts. And we realized that was a very heavy burden, having that toxic load that we were constantly inhaling, that secondhand smoke, right? But nowadays, we think, oh, well, that's not as bad, so we're okay,
yeah,
right?
Because no smoking indoors anywhere. Well,
right.
It's very rarely that you would find people smoking indoors anywhere now.
Right, so that's one thing that we kind of worked on. But then we also have so many home care products, like our own personal hygiene products, our laundry detergents, the air fresheners that we use within our homes, those little plug-ins that you use. And you think, oh, it's a lovely little smell that it's masking odors. That's what it's been portrayed to give a lovely scent. The unfortunate part is that all of the products that have, especially fragrance in them, fragrance, the one word itself that's listed on the label of all the ingredients, that one word carries over hundreds of toxic chemicals within a fragrance to create that one specific scent. And a lot of times those scents actually mimic what we can find in nature, like a lemon or a pine smell or something lavender and things like that. So unfortunately, we have them mimicking what's naturally found in nature, making us believe, hey, this is good for us, because our scent will go, oh, this smells natural, or it smells, familiar. But unfortunately, those toxins from the fragrance are really damaging our systems.
So today we're talking to Clare Panchaud. She's a holistic health coach. And Claire is going to be at the Living Green Expo, which is happening on January 28th in Dockyard. She fits within the holistic health sector, but it looks like she has a lot of advice for people who are also looking for natural health and beauty products as well. So I just wanted to get into that a bit, because how do we get away from these toxins then? Like what options do we have? Because it sounds like they're everywhere. If you're saying it's in air fresheners, I mean, even trash bags smell sweet now, right?
There's lemon scent.
Yeah, do we have to look for unscented, trash bags? And what do we do about laundry detergent? And how do we freshen our air? If these things have toxins in them, like what are the safe and healthy alternatives for those things?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what I do is centered around creating healthy habits for ourselves and for our families, as well as decreasing our toxic load within our homes, our bodies, and our overall environment. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is just being so super aware of where we can eliminate the toxic load within our homes and our bodies. So if we are looking at what we're spending our hard-earned money on, a lot of the times, if you go down to that aisle, the cleaning aisle, right, in the grocery store, and you really just stop for a minute and smell, just let your senses, your olfactory system, take in the scents, you're actually overloaded. A lot of times when you start eliminating the toxins, you'll be super sensitive and aware of what toxic chemicals that you're taking in afterwards, because your senses are heightened. Mm-hmm. So you can go down that aisle and really just go, oh, wow, this really smells artificial. It really smells overpowering. And for a lot of people, especially when they go to, say, a fragrance counter or somewhere in a department store where you have so many body sprays and perfumes and colognes, a lot of people will actually go in there and they'll come out and they go, oh, I've such a headache, or I just don't feel well. And that's, again, the toxic load of just inhaling those scents without even putting them on.
Right. So you're bringing back memories for me, right? Because now I remember traveling to school with my mom, who's a teacher. She's a retired teacher, and my aunt, is another retired. So they were both teaching at this time. Yeah. I would be in the back of the car in my school uniform.
Oh, no.
And on days when it rained and the windows were up, I was like, I can't breathe in here because the smell of whatever perfumes they were wearing, it was always overwhelming.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I just couldn't wait to open up the door to get out of the car. So.
And if you're not a person that's accustomed to having those scents all the time, you'd be more sensitive to them as well. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So instead what we can do is, number one, being super aware of the toxins that we're bringing to our home, we're using on our body. The average woman puts on 10 toxic products within 10 minutes, over 500 different toxic chemicals just in her daily routine. And that's before she even leaves home. So, and then you go to what we have in our outside air, you go into your office and you have the little plug-ins in the office, they have the air fresheners in the office, they have cleaning products in the office from the night before where it's all been cleaned and the surface has been cleaned, that again all contribute to our toxic load, because they are toxic-filled chemicals in these cleaners, in what we're putting on our body, and what we're inhaling as well. So unfortunately, we are bombarded by toxins. And so another great way is actually just swapping out what we know to be toxic for a better, cleaner option. So you can look at your daily routine of your makeup that you put on for women, your body washes that you use, your hand soaps that you use. You can look at the scents that you're putting in your home. For example, you can swap out those air fresheners or plug-ins for a diffuser and natural essential oils. So that's another thing that I talk to people a lot about is the use of essential oils and how to use them correctly and safely so that you get the best benefit from them, because they're very therapeutic. Because remember, essential oils are from nature. They're from the plant, the seed, the root, the bark of the trees. So what we're getting is the actual essence from that, from nature, when we use pure essential oils. Unfortunately, the essential oil companies are not, they don't have a governing board over them. So they're not under sort of a regulation that regulates what they put on their bottles and how they package their oils. So a lot of oils can be stretched, they can be adulterated, they're not testing for contaminants, they're not testing for heavy metals, they're not testing for purity. So that's why.
Well,
Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of the bottles that say 100% pure essential oil or lemon or whatever it is, it's not always the case. So that's why I only, personally, I only trust doTERRA essential oils, because they set the standard for the whole industry, basically, where they have a certified pure therapeutic grade. And they make sure that all of their essential oils are tested to make sure that there's no heavy metals, there's no contaminants, there's no pesticides, herbicides used, anything of that sort. And they partner with the artisan growers so that they work closely with them. They know that where the crops come from is from the best areas in the world where it grows naturally, where it has the best conditions, where they're not having to use synthetic sprays on them. And they will test the samples in-house as well as with third party, and then test again in-house to make sure that when they bottle up those essential oils, they are the real deal.
So it sounds like that we all need to put effort into a bit of research around the brands that we're using.
Absolutely.
So if we can research the brand and we can understand how those companies operate and what efforts they're putting in to keep their products pure and clean, then we know that when we see products from those brands, we can trust it.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, it's a bit challenging because not even the label seems like it's able to save you since there's an absence of regulation.
Yeah.
In some of these areas, so that must really slim it right down. I mean, it sounds like you're only working with one brand.
Yeah, so for essential oils, absolutely. And the cool thing about doTERRA is that they have really encompassed a lot of different things as well. They do supplements, they have personal care products, so that if you are somebody who is truly looking for a whole holistic lifestyle and not just some essential oils put in a diffuser, yes, absolutely, that's a great way to start, but you can build upon that. So what I like to help people do is to create their own at-home cleaning products, which are so easy to make, cost-effective, because a lot of times it's baking soda, vinegar, things like that we have in the house already. Just adding in a bit of essential oils, and then you can make your own cleaning products. You can make a lot of your own personal care products as well. I make my own body wash, I make my own hand soap. So it's really an easy process. It's really quick and effective, but you're eliminating so many toxins as well at the same time, which is really cool.
Okay. So with all these neat tips and tricks that you have, what can people expect from you at the Living Green Expo? How do you intend to participate, and what are you going to have on offer?
Yeah, so I'll have a booth there, obviously, where people can come chat and talk about all things essential oils and healthy living and reducing your toxic load and how to create healthy habits. And then, so I have a healthy home handbook, which is free. So I'll be able to give people the link to that so they can actually grab the free ebook, which really gives them a lot of really great information on how to start looking at the different toxins that they're bringing to their home and how to make natural cleaners instead for themselves using essential oils. and we can talk about how they want to progress, because it's baby steps, right? We don't necessarily can do everything all at once, but what area they want to focus on in their lifestyle to really take the next step in reducing their toxic load and increasing healthier habits.
What got you into this?
You know what? It's just the most interesting thing. I think the big aha moment for me was with my first child. And my oldest son is 11. And when they're babies, when they're first born, we do all the things. So we're making sure that the detergent we're using is the right detergent. When they get to the age where they're eating, we're blending up the freshest, nice produce, making little baby smoothies and baby pureed food, and we're giving that to them, and we're doing all the things that's going to help support them as a baby. And I said to myself, at what point do I say that this child is not worthy of that anymore? What point do I then say, oh, regular laundry detergent that has tons of chemicals is okay for my child? The processed food is okay for my child. What point do I switch from really giving them the best to not so much? And that was the aha moment for me. Like, why should I? This is my child regardless. Regardless if they're a baby, if they're whatever age they are, I want the best for them.
Right.
And that was the biggest aha moment for me.
All right. Now you're able to offer all these wonderful tips and services to
and
people.
That's it. I just would love for other families to be able to really have the best for themselves, for their children, for their loved ones, so that we can live healthier and happier and longer.
Right. So in spite of all the positive that comes along with what you're doing, I know that sometimes, taking this type of path can make you stand out. So how has your family embraced you going along this path? Has it been like a struggle, or have they seen the benefits and
They absolutely see the benefits. I mean, I'm not forceful with it, but I just lead by example. So the best thing is, a lot of times it's difficult when family members that we have their own set ways, right? And when we start to change the narrative and do things a little differently, at first there's a little like, I don't know this, but as you stick the path and just keep on creating healthier habits and more of a lifestyle, you become that person in the family that people look to and go, oh, well, your skin's looking great. You're looking healthier. You must be doing, what are you doing? So people start to naturally ask and wonder and, and then see you as an example. So I think that's the cool thing. And then for my kids, this is who I am. This is the take it or leave it. This is the mama they got. So, and they're happy with, this is all they know. And so for them, not to say that they don't have birthday cake, and not to say that they don't have, their treats and things like that. They do, but they know that there's a limit. And they also know that at the end of the day, we want to make sure that their overall health and happiness and well-being is the most important thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, good. Give thanks. So just before we wrap up, do you have any advice for anyone in the audience to share? Just some general advice?
General advice is to basically make a fun, easy lifestyle. So many times we are just overwhelmed, overburdened, overstressed. So instead of having all of that put on us, which is all the factors, right? It's the work, it's the family, it's everything, is to really hone in on who we are, what makes us good, what makes us happy, what makes us healthy, and let that be the leading point in our lives.
Okay. So there you have it, from holistic health coach Clare Panchaud. She's going to be at the Living Green Expo, so I encourage you to come to the expo. Again, it's on January 28th in the Royal Naval Dockyard in the Shed. Come, go right to her booth, get her booklet, access to her booklet, and learn about all these different tips and tricks that we can incorporate into our everyday lives. So thank you, Clare.
Thank you, Eugene.
I think we all should be very interested in what can help to make us happy and healthier as individuals and as families. So we look forward to having you at the expo.
Thank you.
And encouraging people to live naturally and think sustainably.
Absolutely.
All right. So thank you everyone for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and love.